Katowice, situated in southern Poland, and in fact situated right here next to this beautiful trophy. Teams now trying to etch their mark into it, and they want to join the likes of Fnatic, finding themselves on here twice. These next two teams that we have coming your way, well, they just want to make a good run for it, if not succeed at its finest. It will be AVANGAR versus NRG. And before we get any deeper into this one, how about we take you down a little stroll that is AVANGAR lane?
You know, my teammates growing up right now, like they was young like 1 year ago, but they are growing. So right now, I'm trying to fix that stuff about emotional. You know, like when we lost the really important round, the guys give up, like started to give up, and I'm trying to fix that like as fast as I can, because it's really important to come back in the game. And right now, I think we're good. My teammates did a great job with the mentality, and now I think we're ready to play here, so we'll see. We actually had a boot camp for a week, played like 5 or 6 days, played some official games. Right now our team is good, so we'll see. I got a few teams actually that I want to play against. It's first of them is probably Vitality. The French lineup, they're crazy. Zaiwu is madman. The second one is probably NIP, because I really respect these guys. They are really good, and get Riot Forest, the legends. And the third one is probably Windstrikes. The last day that we played against them, we just thought like they're really like new team, and it's gonna be not too hard to play against them, but they like surprised us, and we lost. And our coach said, guys, we have to play some more games, and then we're gonna face against them again.
And it's been a wild ride for this AVANGAR team, and now they're trying to fight for a life here in Katowice, Poland. That's right, they have lost their opening matchup, but I think a lot of people did kind of sleep on them in what was this team showing. And at least for what the other teams have rated them, it's kind of put them in a rougher spot, right, Sean?
Yeah, we mentioned it already on the desk, but the fact that they're ranked 15 is a little bit unfair. Honestly, they're a better team than that, but I mean, they're full of young, up-and-coming players, and they haven't fully proved themselves yet. But with that being said, I think their level should be a little bit higher than that 15th seed.
I definitely agree, and I think we got to see glimpses of that in the first matchup against Liquid, where they pushed them all the way to a 16-12, I believe. At a point, I was thinking to myself, observing the game, this is a game they could actually win. So being able to push one of the favorites for the entire major to a point where you could have won the game, pretty impressive by AVANGAR.
And I mean, you've got to put that into their back pocket, right? I mean, because you have to come into these best of ones with a certain mindset. You don't have that cushion of a best of 3.
Nope.
You don't have that sort of runaway that you can kind of say, yes, we lost the first map, let's just wipe the slate clean. But what you can do is look at the numbers, and they are not going to lie to you either. NRG Esports on the other side of this bout, and it has been nothing short of a breeze for these guys.
Yeah, and I think what really stands out to me on AVANGAR's side is Kicker being at the top of their scoreboard, right? We know that James is going to be up there. We know that Buster is going to be up there. But the fact that he is putting up these numbers as the 3rd star for AVANGAR is definitely huge for them.
I definitely agree.
Huge also noting that we're going to Overpass. I know that you guys are kind of in the thought right now of like, who is AVANGAR? Who is NRG? What is the storyline? But the storyline is going to have to come to Overpass. That's where we're going.
Think about it. You have NRG facing NIP in the first round on Nuke. Not necessarily a great matchup for them, despite having the 5th seed overall. Now you have NRG facing AVANGAR on Overpass in a 0-1 match. I feel it couldn't be any harder on themselves right now. I don't know what goes through their mind. I don't know if there wasn't another option. But going up against AVANGAR and Overpass, that's going to be a big task, because they were looking pretty solid against Liquid.
Yeah, Overpass is actually the best map for probably both of these teams. It's questionable whether it is for AVANGAR, but they're very good on it. Both these teams' win percentage on Overpass actually over 70% in the last 3 months.
Which definitely bodes well. I mean, we're going to talk about numbers not lying. Well, those numbers aren't going to lie themselves. It could put for a very scrappy affair. But the scrappiness isn't here on the analyst desk. It's, in fact, down on the stage where we're getting the team situated right now. And I think it's just about time for us to meet AVANGAR and NRG.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome AVANGAR. Russian in-game leader James led his Kazakh teammates to the challenger stage at the Boston Major, but AVANGAR closely missed the legend stage, dropping out as the very last team at the challenger stage. Fighting against North America's new hope, NRG Esports. Over the last year, NRG built a playstyle that made them more and more successful, running deep at several bigger events and even winning some tournaments. Now is their time to unleash their full potential here at the Counter-Strike Major in Katowice.
AVANGAR, having selected CT here on Overpass, will unfortunately, maybe fortunately for them, be what it starts this off in the right foot. Is this going to be a good start for them?
I think so. I mean, what we saw in their Liquid game is them losing both pistols against the second best team in the world. Maybe the first, we don't know yet, and still managing to put up 12 rounds. As such a young team, that is such a huge feat for them.
I definitely agree. And for the NRG side, we have seen Cirque on the screen quite a bit here. He has not been having a good time here in Poland so far. During the first stage of the major, he was not really living up to the same expectations that we had for him. The first match today, he was not living up to it either. And if there's a map you need Cirque to come alive on, it has to be Overpass. He is so dimensional. He's so good at playing Overpass, creating space, rotating around with the AWP. He's one of the best Overpass players I've ever seen. But if he's not feeling it today, that's going to be a big problem for NRG.
That could very well be a big problem. NRG having had more slaps than the Beatles, it appears. Let's talk a little bit about some win conditions, guys. We're about ready to get into the game, but I want to know who your take is on this.
Ooh, I don't know who my take is, to be honest. I think I'm going to side NRG, but that's because I think Cirque can have a big game in the bathroom area on their CT side, but they need to get enough rounds on their T side, unlike a lot of the teams we've seen so far at this major. So they can't crumble in this first half.
Talking win conditions, Cirque is definitely one of them, especially considering he's going up against Jamie, who's been playing hearts out as well with the AWP. So I feel it's all up to Cirque here. Obviously, you have guys like Ethan, you have Breeze as well, for that matter. They're strong individual riflers, but if you don't have Cirque showing up on a map like Overpass, facing a guy like Jamie, you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, and I think the storyline here is Breeze having been that sort of like underlying character, being that sort of hard point here for NRG, and he certainly got him into this position, which is against AVANGAR on Overpass. That's right, NRG ready to kick it off in a big way, and so are your commentators, and Sponge and Alex Machine Richardson. Take it away, boys.
Thank you so much, Trace and Saranthus there, alongside Jacob Impenica and, of course, Sean Gares. Let's talk about this one, Chatty B. We're jumping into the pistol round. I'm strapping myself in for a good one here. I have the expectation that AVANGAR are going to truly test NRG. It starts in a fast Cirque with one. James, though, making a CZ on the pistol round work. He's run out of ammo, and that means only one thing. Fugly does eventually get the frag. Door open, forces him to Scarpa. Does have a fresh magazine, though, as he chooses to receive. It's not a magazine, it's a clip.
Get your terminology right, Alex. But one of the things to note here is the two opening kills. One goes in the favor of Cirque, the following trade from Jane. They are the highest rated players for each team when it comes to opening kills. And when Jane finds the opening kill, his team convert 20% of the rounds, which is actually high because everyone else is lower than that, 15%, 17%. Okay. But we'll have this pistol round now as all the players from NRG have grouped up towards long. Breezy will be entry fragging as the other two now finally make their way up to join the attack.
Loving this free cam work. Helps you see that attack come together. They start to group on long. You can see it's going to be all on Fitch on Bank, choosing to back away. Now this might be rewarded as his teammates are coming to help, and he has to just find a one-on-one. Breezy gives it to him, but oh my god, he is like a bloodhound, hot in pursuit. Breezy, Krisen's not even looking in that direction. He has the idea that Fitch has him covered, but he doesn't. Fitch has only got 1 point of health to work with.
The bomb's down.
Krisen has taken the bomb out of Fugly's hands. This could become problematic. Daps now in long on his own. Now Breezy's overextended. This is starting to dissolve in front of NRG. Now Krisen's on truck. He has to deal with that to get the bomb down. Krisen, his presence alone could be enough. Look at the clock, 10 seconds. Finally, Daps shuts him down. Bomb should be going in, but you can see where it's planted. Buster's got that info for free, and now the push comes in. Already Buster finds one. Down to Breezy for the 1v2. Exceptional work in the challenger stage, but not this time. Buster secures it, seals the deal, and the pistol goes the way of AVANGAR.
I don't know how that player was able to push through and get the kill on the planter there. That doesn't feel like it should happen, especially with how aggressive Breezy was being. You have to look at how confident he is to take those duels. They had site control. There wasn't really any need to push and continue to fight from that bank position, but he was able to do a lot of damage. Now, sure, you could flip the coin there. You could say in one way it was good, one way it was bad. The fact of the matter is they didn't know that bathrooms was clear because all 3 players had come through long. So they were worried, you know, they needed to plant on the safer side. They didn't want to get flanked. They didn't want to get caught between a rock and a hard place. That's why he opted to go so aggressive. So it's not a misplay. It looks that way to us. That's because we can see everything, where in the server, they don't have the same information.
And to rewind just a little bit, let's not forget that round would have looked very different if James hadn't managed to get 2 with the CC and Underpass. Suddenly they'd have got overwhelmed numbers favoring NRG. That's not the case, though, as we delve into our second round. We've got 2 Supermen. Of course, it's Breezy and Ethan, 2 of the most up-and-coming and prominent North American players, both renowned for their ability to place the crosshair on the head and click.
It sounds simple, doesn't it? But the way that these guys do it, their movement, everything, it really just complements their confidence as individuals. And it wouldn't surprise me if they can get something done here.
And that confidence has been blooming. Every single year you see the NRG roster starting to just acquire more and more of it. And a win here and progress here in Katowice would certainly give them more confidence. In buckets and spades, we start to see AVANGAR set up for this attack. Oh my god, there's so many of them. NRG grouping.
They're just going to walk to a spotter here. This is contact play, Alex.
Contact play from Breezy. Start to charge in. Oh my goodness, what is that from Breezy? Cracks open to the site. Fitch is the last man standing, but this stalwart champion's taken 2. Ethan, the second AK comes in now. It comes in waves, 1 AK at a time. Cirque scavenged the other. Ethan catches the nade, but that's by no means the end of their chances here.
Just note, it isn't a good plant right now, and Daps is very passive. So if this does come down to a situation where Daps will need to defend, he's going to need to get stuck in very quickly.
Buster has the kit. Cresen's on the... I was going to say rotate, maybe going towards bank.
They're just making sure there's no flank right now. It appears they want to do damage.
I'm worried about the time. Obviously accepting that this round's not going their way. Perhaps they want to take something away from NRG. They're not blooming with bucks, don't forget that. This was 2 AKs and some supporting pistols, but it's been enough. NRG secure round 2.
You need to really notice how much work Breezy just did there, right? It's not the fact that he gets 2 kills. It's the fact that he walks into the bomb site, head on a swivel, gets 2 opening frags, and cracks it open to allow the bomb to go down short. Ethan needed to jump on in short. He needed to get that kill, but he's done that alone. That's one individual with an AK.
I hope we see James. Yeah, look at this. Breezy is shot at with his back in 180 degrees from his opponent. He shuts him down and then adjusts on to kick it as well. That's an outstanding way to open a round with limited resources.
Looks like AVANGAR want to bounce right back. They've gone for a force buy of their own. Scout in the hands of James, who gets a lot done with the scoped weapons. Let's see if he can do it with the AWP's little brother.
Can you really defend against that utility? Look at that. 5 smokes, 3 Molotovs, 9 flashes. If NRG put this utility into the right places, it's going to be so hard for the CTs to do anything with this force bite.
The only thing against them right now is if they were to go for a limp into B, Ethan get a little bit curious, picks on his own, he could fall to one of these pistols because he doesn't have anybody close to him, and we can see there's 4 members stacking over towards that bomb site.
But this is why NRG aren't doing anything quick. They want to be able to get that information. They're not going into a site blind. Daps is smoke, not sure the intention, perhaps to draw out any of the already limited CT resources in response. Nothing came though. They've got 2 smokes and 2 flashes for AVANGAR. That's all they've got to keep this round afloat.
Look how cautious NRG have been, clearing every corner and connector, making sure that territory is really theirs, not being lazy about their clear either.
I'm not complaining.
I guess after that NIP game, it's a bit of a wake-up call.
This is not a guarantee. Perhaps the challenger stage was. This is a different kettle of fish. Admittedly, AVANGAR from them. Same stage. But their result versus Liquid, although a loss, 16-12, has got a lot of people talking.
Just this little exchange from Ethan over in water, I thought would have been enough to keep the B players there, and it is, but they've actually fallen back towards the B bomb site. This could be disastrous for NRG. All 5 members are going to be waiting at this B bomb site.
AVANGAR, it's down to you. They've come into your den. What can you do? Buster shows some body shots into Daps. James Scout is present in the kill feed as well. Now Buster repositioning and starting to do damage, but now they're getting shredded. Just Ethan alone. He's only got a Glock. What's that? They've done it. AVANGAR gifted the charge onto the stacked site, and AVANGAR, they profit from it.
James did enough over towards that A bomb site with just the scout to forced them to run all the way back towards B. They knew they had the connector. Ethan hadn't seen anything. He took a little bit of a duel. There was a spam battle back and forth, but they were scared of that A bomb site because the lack of time. The close range angles when you're running in are very scary when you have AKs against pistols, but they've gone back into either site. They didn't actually have enough map territory to set up a proper execute because they put themselves under a lot of pressure with the clock.
Yeah, that was such a chaotic round as well. You didn't quite get to catch some of that CT fragging, but AVANGAR, it was Buster who really managed to kind of, well, bust that round open. He got some real solid work with the Deagle. It was aggressive on ramp, catching them on their aggress through short. We might even get to see it if we're lucky. Yep. So this is James' work. Look at this for the scout. He already got this one already. Buster comes up to finish it off with a shot into the booty of Ethan, but that's plenty. Everyone doing their bit. The force buy pays off.
This is a economical tug of war as NRG opt to buy again. AKs for Cirque and Breezy this time round. Ethan with a Galil. Pistols in the hands of Daps and Fugly. And this time round they're going for a bit more of a direct approach to connect to the pistols, taking the close range duels, as the rifles are going to be going over towards Playground and Fountain.
Oh, but look at Fitch using that AUG. I haven't even thought about this. The AUG can take those fights much more comfortably towards Playground. Previously, not really an angle the CT's comfortable in. Certainly not without support, but he does that solo. Backing away now. Did have Kicker alongside him, and in fact, I think he's going to leave him there, pushed up on long. In the meantime, Fugly has got water.
See, look what's happened here on the map at the top left, Alex. Fitch has pushed, he's got a kill. It's forced them back towards B, but they've rotated already. Fitch is going to be back towards B before they know it. Yeah,
and they're going to make the call for sure. It's absolutely black and white. They're coming. And Buster's ready for them. Fugly down. Prison really, really hungry for pressure towards Monster, but Cirque's going to be given some freedom. What can he do with it? Nothing is the answer. Spectacular from Prison. That double dink sounds so satisfying with the UMP. That's the sound of precision. And we've got ourselves the third for AVANGAR. They've managed to, I mean, what's happening here? Daps and NRG likely digging themselves into quite an economical hole with that force.
Yeah, well, if NRG was able to bounce back and win the force buy of their own, then maybe you start snowballing on top of the economy and, you know, you get a really good T-half under your belt. The problem is, if you're unable to convert the gimmies, you're going to find yourself in a bit of a pinch. And Daps right here, the best he can do is hopefully find one kill. You're not going to see too much more. Doesn't have any armor to go with it, so he's going to fall to Kicker. And that's going to be the third round for AVANGAR. Now, they're just pushing them around the map in these early stages. Really bullying NRG in their rotations. Probably that game before against NIP has shaken NRG.
And in contrast, AVANGAR, I think that warmed them up. A loss versus Liquid, yes, but I believe they managed to keep their CT side under lock and key under a very well-prepared Liquid. In fact, yes, AVANGAR, they had 8 CT rounds to secure a very comfortable 8-7 split on the half versus Liquid. This time, we're seeing how their CT side fares versus NRG. Now the eco. It was an inevitability, but it took to round 5 to see NRG's money truly broken. Unwilling to force this time, charging into the jaws of Kicker. And he should be able to spray them all down. Lines them up, and I think it's going to be Prison. Oh, that couldn't have worked out better. He gets the AK as well. Nothing lost, but plenty gained. Do your maths. 1,800.
Yeah, just for those who aren't aware, you get a little bit more money if you get the kills with the SMG as opposed to the rifle. 600 compared to 300. So for the bank balance of AVANGAR, that's a good way to go down. Of course, losing 2 players to Glocks, not ideal. But the AWP will come out right now for James. We will not see the same for NRG. Cirque left with the AK-47. This, to me, speaks of an execute.
Yeah, I'm hungry to see Cirque CT AWP, but we'll see how much actually rounds he gets to play with, given how this half is starting to shape up. Still plenty of time for NRG. This is the full AKs. Chad's expecting something from the Daps playbook, and we're about to find out. Bomb left loose. Signifies a slower take. They're leaving Ethan towards Monster. The Nico-esque role. They just leave him to his own devices. He's got aim, and he's got brain.
Yeah, the job of that player is just to contain, you know, call out any utility used, allow your in-game leader to know, okay, they've used a smoke, they've used 2 smokes, Molotovs have come in, they've taken water control. That's your job, is just to give the in-game leader all the information he needs to piece the puzzle together for what the best plan of attack is going to be.
Because the bomb's next to Ethan, right?
Yeah, this is just a default spread right now. This is information gathering in its finest. Clear out the map, grab the map utility for free that you can with simple utility, flashing corners, smokes to push back angles, good movement, and jiggle peeking. And once you've got that under your belt, then Daps, he gets to calculate it all and make a call that hopefully pays off if you're an NRG fan.
I don't envy in-game leaders in this game. So much to keep track of. And I have the honor to actually cast with one who it was all too much for. I mean, you can attest that it can break a man.
I'm still having my meltdown, Alex.
In-game leadership in Counter-Strike, a stressful role, there's no doubt. Krizen is going to be stressed, forced to watch from the sidelines as Fitch manages to equalize. Cirque doing the same. Buster catches on the duel versus Ethan. Perhaps a little early to show, but I say that. There's only 20 seconds left. The bomb has been scooped up by Daps. And I don't know if this default's going to be paying dividends, because right now, 15 seconds, all pressure on NRG. Daps the entry fragger as he strides in. Fugly could get caught off. I think he has to push over that Molotov. Otherwise, it's just curtains. 8 seconds. They can stop this plant. Buster has the chance, and he will do just that. Not enough. No bullets. Daps gets the trade. This could still go NRG's way, but it's not looking likely.
Oh, no.
The CTs are boosted, and James has profited from it. But look at this.
Did they hear him? They've turned around. One of them knows something's up.
James be aiming it. Oh, I think that little step could have cost him his life.
I thought Daps may have done enough to allow Breezy to get back into this round, but...
I love the position. I mean, the fact that Breezy's there, the bomb planted enough for him. The idea was there, but I'm worried. I mean, 20 seconds and you haven't got any of the control onto the site you were planning on.
Yeah, so they did the default well enough to get a little bit of territory. They had connector. Ethan was able to get a B kill for free, basically, but then he's taken water on his own. It doesn't feel like there's a clear line of communication or a clear idea right now. I think it's let's go out, let's spread pick, let's hope we can find some openings and snowball. They weren't able to do that, even though Ethan had the opening kill. They still lost a man in transition. Ethan got a little bit hungry, went for another kill of his own. And then, like you said, 20 seconds left. They're forced into a B take without a lot of structure, without a plan. And now they're forced onto pistols. It's not looking good for NRG at all.
We'll see just how destabilized this roster is. Of course, a best of 1, it's pretty cutthroat. You lose 2 maps, you're forced into a best of 3 for survival. And best of 3s from then on out. Here comes the Molotov from Krizen. That's going to keep them at bay. This is going to be a very quick swarm onto B. This is where your aim gets tested. They're everywhere, and they hurt. Ethan trades off onto Fitch, just the P250s. Now we need to see more from Krizen. It has to be a multi-kill. Already pressured. He could lose his life. He does. But look at Buster, keeping things under lock and key. Very impressed by Buster here. I know, yes, an eco bash, all that nonsense, but he truly has been keeping that B site safe, regardless of what he's being thrown at him.
Yeah, good shot to end that one off there. It could have gotten a bit dicey. I like NRG's approach, smoking off those 2 choke points towards the mid at A and then making the way down connector to catch a CT, getting aggressive off guard from a more unusual angle. Normally you see coming up connector and then going out to water, or coming up connector and going out towards the balloons, but they've gone the reverse.
To back up my Buster point as well, taking a quick look at the advanced stats, and I can see we're in round 7. He has already got 5 multi-kill rounds. That is from defending that site. Admittedly, it may be a pistols, it may be simple 1 AK, 3 P250s, whatever it is. Spectacular control, and he's helping the quote-unquote easy rounds come home alongside the difficult ones. So that's 16-1. A timeout called, and understandably so. It looks like we're going to be getting back into things.
No AWP still for Cirque. Now, sure, there's not enough money to, fully invest in the AWP and get all the goodies to go with it, but I'm surprised we haven't seen it come out as a glass cannon to take on the fight with James. But like I mentioned before, I was expecting an execute to come out when I saw the AKs to at least give some pacing to the T side of NRG, but so far, they just think the default spread pick is the best option.
Vanguard's molly failed there, I think. Perhaps something that they won't be able to replicate, so don't count on it, NRG, but that's some freedom given to the Ts should they choose to use it. They haven't. Ethan, in the meantime, this is clearly his role. Try and keep Water and Monster under lock and key, but it's not an easy one by any stretch.
The reason you want to be a little bit more aggressive in that position every now and again is to keep the CTs honest. You don't want them to think that they can have Water for free every time, because that's a big part of the map that you'll have to retake in the late round. So him showing a little bit of aggression, showing a willingness to fight, forces them to...
It's like a mini-game.
Yeah, but as you can notice, they did have 4 players over towards B at that point. James over towards long, so now 2 rotations of Fitch and Kickert are making it back towards A. So James has long, the other 2 are going to have to deal with the toilet push, which has been left open now since the start of the round.
If James gets into position here, this is going to just destroy this assault in toilets at the moment. The T's start to gather, but James is in position. The smoke's going to force them to hold back. 18 seconds depleted off the clock unless they don't respect it. Breezy's ahead of the pack, and that's 1. James looking to go close quarters. This is ambitious. Is he alone? Doesn't really have the support. Fitch is on site.
He's going to hear this. He's going to hear the rotation. They're going to rotate to B. They are absolutely destroying NRG with the rotations right now.
Is on sticks. Perfect work from James. He's going to make the call, and now it's down to Krizen. He has to pass this test. coming from every angle, softened up by his teammates, but now it's him and Fitch. Ever the rotator, but that's great from Ethan and Daps. Don't find the win, and that should be NRG finding their second. They secure it.
Just because you know they're coming doesn't guarantee you the frag or the round, as NRG will post their second on the board. End the drought, 6-2 now. AVANGAR looking solid. Even though they lost the round, they're still just really toying with NRG.
I mean, that just came down to duels, right? And we see Ethan and Daps thrive under that pressure. You can see the coach as well. I haven't talked about him just yet. I'm a pet. He's been known to do his homework. Of course, feels relatively helpless once those timeouts are expended or the round is in play. He has to count on that homework being enough. You can see a fantastic angle for that Molotov. Oh, I think they're doing the boost. I don't know why I'm whispering. They can't hear me, but still.
Keep it really quiet in case they
They're
get
doing
Alex.
the boost. Of course, this helps you look towards heaven. There won't be a CT there, and so we can all get back onto our seats now.
Hold up, there might be an opportunity. Kickert is rotating. It'd be strange for him to go that wide in that position. It doesn't matter because the totem pole of death has dropped. We need to get rid of that bloody train, that's all I'm saying.
That's the technical term.
The totem pole of death?
Yeah, I like that.
They've been able to hedge 4B again. Look how much confidence that James, as the primary AWPer and in-game leader for this team, has. He is on an island over towards that A bomb site.
Buster, in the meantime, the double AWPs from AVANGAR, and they're close. Challenging water, challenging the short pipe.
I love this angle.
You should find one here. It should be a free, but Cirque so quick. They needed that. They really did. NRG keep things level. Once again, you know, we can't forget what Cirque is capable of. The Bulgarian has done ridiculous things with the big green gun.
This looks like to be, I was going to say a bit of a fake, but they're actually going on in. Daps with the bomb leading the charge now.
But Fitch is in trouble. Daps has already done what he did prior. Now needs to find a double over. That's going to be Krisen starting to contest. He nearly gets 3. Quicker with the AUG. And now just one man, Cirque. No health, no hope. 20 seconds. Does upgrade to the AK, and that is an upgrade in this scenario. But no, Krisen even finds it with the AWP. This is the weirdest couple of rounds of Counter-Strike. As NRG, they're sent back to, I imagine, scraps.
Yeah, they need to take a pause and talk this one through because the economy for AVANGAR isn't great right now. NRG could scrap together a buy. They could have something pretty decent, and they will be going for it. I've just seen Ethan and Cirque upgrade the AKs on at least 3 players.
So if the 4 spies coming in and you've got 2 AWPs and nades to work with, where are you putting them? One on each site and cross your fingers and toes?
I think the bigger problem right now for NRG is they're getting kind of hedged out of the situation. AVANGAR are leaning 4B a lot at the start of the rounds and just allowing James to do whatever he wants towards A because they know the rotation. They know he's either going to get one or he's going to survive and delay long enough that they can get there. So NRG, if they pick up the pace and go towards B, they're going to run into a 4-man stack. Unless they can just pick James straight away and then snowball and just rush that A bomb site and take a lot of territory away, they're going to find themselves in a bit of trouble, and they also don't know that that 4-man B lane has been coming in.
Well, let's think about it. Think about the round NRG, or one of the 2 rounds that they won, was Breezy spearheading straight into the A site. This is going to be interesting.
It looks like a B play. Right now, all 5 members from NRG are making their way straight towards that monster
if they
tunnel.
walk into the stack, it's problematic. We'll find out, because Fitch is about to have a bit of a party. He's standing in the molly. He's gone. The flash and the Molotov, a deadly combination, but so is Buster, Kickert, and Krisen, all of them filling up the kill feed. NRG's charge towards B. They meet the stack, and they meet their fate, just fugly. Wondering where it all went wrong as AVANGAR pursue their 8th here in the 10th.
The B-side blender just absolutely obliterating NRG. That's what's going to happen when you have the 4-man B lane. You have so many players there, so much utility can be thrown out. Fugly's going to be cleaned up with any second. And now they can upgrade their weapons. It was a suboptimal buy. Now the fact of the matter is they just picked up 2 AKs. They still have the double AWPs in play. They can drop a gun across to Fitch. NRG are bankrupt because that was a forced buy on their side of things.
God, the risky economy choices are so punishing in a best of 1 when they don't pay off. Worst case scenario in a best of 3, you say, okay, we had to try, it didn't work, let's look at map 2. Here it's, we had to try, what do we do now?
Here's the problem. Normally, I'd be saying NRG with 2 rounds at this point, they can still convert, maybe get, 4 or 5 on the board. That's not too bad. The reason that I'm all doom and gloom is because they're being dictated to, right? A lot of these rounds, they're just getting wiped out. It's not hard clutch situation.
This is a change from none other than Fitch and Kickit, previously B players, now in Underpass. They're ready to receive, and the MP5 from Fitch has managed to find himself a double. Even the USP is finishing them off, and that is AVANGAR's 9th in less than 30 seconds of play.
I can't hear the voice comms, but I can imagine the call would have been, let's go towards A, we'll just flash the AWPer and try and swarm him. Well, the fact of the matter was, the AWPer had more than enough of a buffer around him that the rifles did all the work, mopped it up, and completely destroyed NRG, who definitely didn't have a chance in a round with only those pistols, but the idea is still being thought of and prepared for by AVANGAR.
I like that they mix it up. This is previously the team that have been stacking 4B. Suddenly there's 2 Underpass ready for your pistols. Firm grasp so far from AVANGAR.
Look at the utility right now, Alex. Would you say that's ideal for a team like NRG when we're this late in the game?
I would say Daps' strat book has a limited number of pages that require 4 smokes and 2 flashes. We're about to find out, though. They still have incredible players.
Why are they so scared over towards Playground and Fountain? There was only one round where there was really any pure aggression. That was Fitch right? In the early stages with the AUG. Oh. Sure, they throw the smoke, and Jane might pick over it occasionally, but Daps is going to take the head off Buster.
That's a 1 dap.
You going to dab on that one?
Absolutely not.
Now, here's the problem. Daps is going for more aggression towards Monster, but no trade potential. He's just got the opening. Is he trying to give that away as quickly as he's just got it? He has. He's gone for an individual play as the in-game leader. If that was Ethan or Breezy, sure. But now the brains, sure, he can still talk.
The brains of the brigade has to watch from the sidelines. That is an interesting choice. They already managed to disable just a little bit of that B defense. They know it tends to be stacked. Not this case, of course. As you can see, a nice little 2-2 split. Sack. Considering a smoke towards Ethan's position. It's going to enable him to perhaps start to find some angles. One towards barrels. The Molotov's going to confirm it. Does he push? He certainly does. There's one upper. Fitch is not going to expect this. He does! Finds 2. Fugly on Monster. Then a quick adjustment. Catches Ethan in aggress. Now all on Breezy. And this is a problem he's going to try and address. 18 seconds. He does have the bomb within his grasp. He's just a moment away. Kickit playing the waiting game. He knows the pressure is on Breezy. And now the fight's given to him. He wins that. Now just a 1v1.
Time.
5 seconds.
No
His
time.
teammates have made the call. He can't hold this. This is James' free kill, and he will take it. 10 for AVANGAR. Breezy close, but no cigar.
This is NRG capitulating right here. They are feeling the pressure. These are mistakes that you don't normally see them make. They're falling apart at the seams, individually going for plays that don't make any sense. They're giving themselves number advantages. Ethan did it in the earlier stages. Daps has just done it there again. When they tried to change it, the pace didn't work. So they feel, let's just go the default and let our individual prowess really reign supreme. But the problem is, AVANGAR are part of that generation. They play that heads-up style of Counter-Strike, and they have so much faith in their in-game leader, James, just holding this A bomb site. They have just pushed NRG, I guess, to the breaking point.
I am so impressed by Fitch as well. I mean, listening to him in the interview, don't forget, this was the quote-unquote rookie joining Gambit, and now he's talking about his team as a team that needs development in their mental issues, and he seems like he's grown up a whole lot in a very short space of time. As he said, so have AVANGAR. Less emotionally attached to the rounds.
This here is when they can find the gap. Look how much space they have. Sure, James on the site, but they've been able to walk up without detection. 2 players will flank them and lock them in, but they might get a chance to get on the bomb site.
Yeah, James, he's been living large on this site for too long. Now the charge comes in. Kickit. He's going to have to try and take at least 1 out of them here, but look at this. They just hit the brakes. The site's free.
They know
They've
Daps is
got all the
crossed.
angles. Molly's going to force Daps out, and okay, he's gone. Fitch and Kickit both coming from long. 3 Ts remain. This is going to be a hard one to hold with nothing but CZs, Deagles, and just a little bit of Kevlar. Buster's already busted into the site, and Breezy. He's not long for this world. Tagged up on Optimus. He can't do much. Desert Eagle and nothing less than Fitch. Double. Nice and easy. AVANGAR will find themselves their 11th. But surely that's a revelation for NRG.
Look, when you do a setup, you have contingency plans as the CT side. That was the worst case scenario, the AWPer getting overwhelmed and forced back and the bomb site given up. The contingency has to have the 2 players towards long drop back and take the duel from that position. I'm sure you could have had multiple different ways to deal with that of AVANGAR. You could have gone through toilets and really locked them in. But they seem so well prepared with all of their rotations that even if NRG find the right gap, find the right solution, they're still going to find themselves in a rock and a hard place. And right there you can see Cirque. Do I look towards long? Do I fight towards bank? What about the drop down position? All of those places he could have dived from there, and he has nowhere safe to stand.
They're just running out of options and running out of rounds. AVANGAR, you can see how they managed to do this. Fitch is really he's looking comfortable with the AUG, there's no doubt about it. 100 ADR for him. In fact, there you go. Cast your eyes down that. Nearly 3 of them. Over 100 damage per round. I reckon the multi-kills are pretty telling as well, but you don't have to be a genius to say AVANGAR have got good stats at 11-2 versus NRG. This would put the loser of this game 0-2, a best of 3 for survival on the docket next.
I had both of these teams in my pick'em, and AVANGAR was the dark horse. They were the outsider.
Same. I had Ents too, so I'm really looking like a nice bronze, brown, ugly coin for me.
You know what they say, Alex, don't count your chickens.
Yeah, until they frag, I think is the saying.
Yeah, we haven't given them AKs yet, but that's a work in progress. Coming to you on the summer of 2020.
Sign me up. Pencil that into my calendar. We still say pencil it in. No one uses pencils anymore. When was the last time you held a pencil, Chad?
Pencil in our hotel room.
Okay, well, you've played me there.
Okay, so see how slow they have to be about clearing all of these corners? They haven't actually done a relatively fast default over towards A, and they're so scared of those aggressive moves that we've seen come in very sporadically. But they have to respect it because it's worked for AVANGAR. So now you can see like they're having to flash every corner, jiggle, peek. It's taking a lot of time. 45 seconds left on the clock, and once again, it doesn't look like they have a clear idea. And AVANGAR with Jame and Kick It in the toilet so close have so much information.
Uh-oh, they're about to get a whole lot more. Breezy's here is the information,
What?
and the double from Breezy. He had no right for the second Kick It's. Well, kicking himself a third. Breezy, you can't do this. That's not fair. 4 frags. He might even find the 5th here. Tags Krisen up. Daps will dunk it, but my goodness. We say you can aim, we say he's got brain, and he just delivers in a very crucial round. Round 14, they find their 3rd round.
That's 2 rounds that I would accredit to just being won by Breezy alone. He had the round where he walked onto the A bomb site open with 2 big kills. Here, just absolutely decimated the defense. He should never get this 2nd kill. Kick It should have had him dead to rights right there.
So let's just clarify. The AUG is a 3-shot kill, right?
Look, it's a whole range situation. We won't get stuck in the particulars.
Okay, he's right next to him.
He should be dead.
He should be dead. I hear at least 1 bullet touch his toes in the jump, but my goodness, 50 HP, he finds another. 4 frags for Breezy in that round, and now pressure being applied to Jame, forced to back away.
I want to say that you can't win a game with 1 man alone, but we have seen Breezy do it for NRG in the earlier stages of the major. To get to this position, to go 3-0, he had to put this team on his back and put in a gargantuan performance. He's going to need to turn it on that CT side even more so. Because even if they grab 4 rounds, AVANGAR are looking so much more poised and polished. They're speeding up the pace of their default. They're getting map control a little bit quicker. Ethan getting a little bit curious, does a lot of damage, goes for the kill, isn't going to finish it off. Uncharacteristic for Ethan there, but that nade from Fugly does do the job.
That's lovely. Mr. Bryant will be proud.
Now let's see if they can stay composed, because so far AVANGAR have gone for aggressive plays when they've been down a man, which hasn't happened very often. Still have 3 over towards the B-bomb site.
So it's all on Jame again, should they choose to hit A.
No utility for a proper execute. They have 3 smokes, so if they went for something standard towards B, they can get a heaven smoke in, maybe put up the wall smokes towards Graffiti. But Fitch's forward position means even if they throw those smokes, it doesn't really do anything. 30 seconds left and a monster smoke has just been dropped. This is going to corral them and force them to go up sandbag or to pop flash through, which plays right into the CT's hands.
Yeah, they're going to be so happy if they push that smoke because Krisen, Fitch, and I think there's a 3rd, yeah, Kick It's there as well. Ethan's trying to draw their fire, but they know the brunt of the assault's coming from Monster. The tags are there, but no frags. Down to Kick It, and he's gone too. NRG with just 10 seconds left, they should have done enough. The bomb should go down, so should the round. Jame just left for some end of half heroics. It's not likely. Many would say impossible, given the fact there's no kit. And 4 players all staring at his location. That's a quick one onto Breezy. That's the head of the snake.
Next.
No time, perhaps. Yeah, anyone else?
Yeah, he's just stat padding at this point with no kit. There's really no hope. No one's offering themselves up. All NRG really have to do is just wait for contact and peek together. Fugly's going to end the round a little bit quicker for all the viewers at home. But 11-4, all things considered. The place that NRG found themselves in, 4 rounds, they're going to be quite happy with that. That does sound surprising.
Yeah, Breezy, I mean, he's clearly a win condition for the boys, and he has won them, I think, 50% of their rounds. This is a problem. NRG, they're on the backboard, and they need to do something fast. AVANGAR, they are looking so poised to secure this one. We'll find out if they can after this. We are back in business. NRG are against the ropes. Should they concede, they'll be thrust into the 0-2 where they have only one chance to survive. Should they do so, it's a long road to the next stage of competition. The champion stage, of course, the final goal, but they have just 4 rounds, and that was the T-side. Now they have to defend, and AVANGAR looking fantastic. I'm joined by Sponge, and I'm very intrigued to see how far NRG can recover. Will this just be a wham bam, thank you ma'am 16-6, or have they got more in the tank? The pistol, a very good place to start.
So 4B this time from NRG seems to be a more common approach that's been brought in vogue. Fugly's very forward here. I don't know if he realizes players have already crossed to his left. That could be problematic. Smoke and a Molotov in Krizen's hands. They're just waiting for any early map aggression, and now they're regrouping towards this B bomb site. So Breezy, Fugly, and Daps are the ones to defend this lovely delivery coming in.
Oh, it's a good angle from Fugly, but forced off it quickly. Now being pressured, he's going to be panicking. But there's Breezy. Of course he is. The turret. Set up on barrels, and he's not going to be forced off by that Molotov because he's behind it. Great little shot through the Molotov as they do get whittled down just a little bit. Fugly forced to aggress as Buster takes the site. Perhaps playing for the retake here. Just Breezy left from the CTs. Is the bomb likely to be going down? Yep, Krizen going to be fulfilling that role. Fugly under pressure in water. He's going to get one, but James starting to claw back in. The T's are at a huge disadvantage now. Buster charging around, but he's getting... Oh! James has to do something. Has to find the trade. And that's enough. Bomb down. Don't forget that.
Diffuse should just come in here.
Yeah,
They've got the kit.
Challenge, he's screwed. He's got a firing squad around the corner. And the defuse comes in, as does the frag. NRG. They're back on the game. Back on the board. That's the 5th. Now they need to convert. Step 2.
Fun fact, Alex, we had all of the teams who had won their respective minors make it through to the Legend stage, and now we have 2 of the teams, AVANGAR and NRG, CIS and America's minors, respectively, going toe-to-toe.
In the Legend stage?
Yeah, we had Renegades versus Ents earlier, which was the European and the Asian CIS, Asian minor champions. So we're getting
hell yeah,
a lot of that action. So really, the minor system working.
Yeah, and let's not forget that you were talking of Breezy earlier. 72 frags in 2 maps versus Tyloo, of course, from the Asian minor. That was at the Challenger stage. Now, let's see how far they can push AVANGAR.
James does have that AK. No head armor to go with it, however. Kickit does have some of his own. Oh, boy, okay. Ethan's going to be feeling that one. Down to 34 points of health. He'll get a bit of spam back.
This is interesting. It's like they're having a conversation through the wall.
Ethan's very brave to be continuing to spam because that is paper thin.
So James starts his crawl. Keep our eyes on him, of course. He is the weapon wielder.
Just to note, Fugly isn't just in a one and done. He actually has Cirque there to potentially swing and bait for him if he hears any sound cues. But if he's caught in a jump, if he's caught in the wrong position, Fugly is all on his own.
James going to get boosted. He has a chance to catch him. Cirque's not watching it. He certainly doesn't have an AWP. This is round 2. Fugly challenged out, and James going to get it. Will the trade come in from Cirque? The answer is a resounding no.
It's a free M4 as well on the ground there.
But that's going to get the CTs moving, surely. With 40 seconds left, Kikatani managed to get a whole lot of ground. Fitch does get spotted by Cirque's jump, if I'm not mistaken. He is preempting the push.
Still a flash and a smoke.
Wait, they're on the move, Chad. That bomb's not going just yet. Starting to charge in group now. Gathering. CT, one of them. Dap still on the wrong site. Cirque's going to do a lot here, but that's taken away from him. Krizen again with the P250. What? Breezy out-challenged with just a sidearm, and now the bomb's going in.
This is what nightmares are made of. Ethan low from that exchange earlier. Dap's only with an MP9. How are they going to get back into this?
With a frag like that. Krizen gone. Buster shows what he's got. M4 and close quarters. Don't forget, Daps with an MP9. Some unarmored opponents. Makes it all too easy with the SMG. James. Oh, he's playing mind games right now. He knows the clock is on his side. There is a kit on Daps. Diffuse coming in. Pre-aimed by his teammate. He has to take the shot now. Wrong player. And that's so close to going so wrong for NRG. They thank their lucky stars and stripes. It's 6.
You have to hold your breath while that defuse is coming in. You know what the fun fact there is? They are done with just a light pistol upgrade and 1 dropped AK. Now when you look at the money situation as the buy comes in on the screen,
who's in a better scenario? I'm edging towards AVANGAR.
100%. They have 5 AKs and full utility. Look at NRG. They have an MP9, a UMP, 2 MP9s. They don't. They have 2 orgs. Okay, hold up. They have 2 orgs. You know, those are that's in vogue at the moment.
Yeah, in vogue certainly is. James, you can see his reaction there. Just another day in the office for him as he nearly breaks NRG mentally and financially. Breezy, very quick frag, but it's traded. He stuck around a little too long.
Just to notice the difference, we saw Fitch make a similar play. He found the opening kill, and what did he do? Get out of dodge. He got all the way back to CT spawn, and he even rotated towards B. Breezy getting a little bit too hungry there. Sure, he's a fantastic fragger, but if you're going to make yourself a liability like that in a game like this...
They call it star player syndrome, Chad.
Never had that.
When your back is against the wall, you feel like you have to be the win condition. You have to make the play, and it can cause deaths like that. Breezy caught out by the trade. Didn't choose to turn tail and run, and now advantage that he did acquire for approximately 7 seconds nullified.
Now that puts so much pressure on the defenders of this B bomb site here. That's going to be Ethan and Daps. Ethan has the AUG, but Daps only has one of those MP9s.
I'd love to see Daps' weapon by stats. I swear he's got the MP9 more than the rifle.
Fugly's pushed all the way up long here at A, so Cirque's rotated B. They can at least hedge.
He's flashed, and he's dead. Crizzen starts to go wide on Monster. He's get another one. Crizzen! I feel like I'm listing every single player from AVANGAR. They're having these moments, heroic moments. Now Cirque, next on the chopping block for Crizzen. 3 scalps on his belt loop, and he's done. Round 12 secured.
Here's the problem. When you go back and you watch the demo, when you do your demo review as a team for NRG, Breezy has no excuse for what he did. No one's going to say, oh yeah, bro, I can see what you were thinking there.
It's not just one round, though, is it?
Well, of course not, right? But at 4 rounds on the T side of Overpass, it's actually not that bad, right? If you're thinking about this map, it's probably like a 10-5. Maybe some teams, they can milk 6 rounds. But 11-4, it feels par for the course.
It's doable.
It was doable. Now the fact of the matter is they are completely broken. Their money is in turmoil. And right now, NRG, if they opt to go for one of those force buys, one of those questionable economic decisions, they're going to find themselves putting so much pressure on their fraggers just to hit the heads. They're not giving themselves the tools to actually play Counter-Strike. They're just relying on individuals to multi-frag. And they are going for the force buy. They're going all in. This is do or die right now for NRG.
Well, looks like a night in Vegas for NRG. Sunglasses on, AirPods, of course, they're cool. And just pushing all of the chips into the center of the IEM Katowice table. Crizzen's just so hyped. Starting to smack his lips at the prospect of beating NRG in a fashion like this. Just Kevlar, a couple of helmets for Cirque and Fugly. And their weapon of choice. Fugly, of course, saving that AUG. He could very well be a win condition. Sitting a little in the open, chooses to recede. But will they succeed, Chad? I mean, this is a setup. Fitch is there to receive, but he chooses to try and bait some CT aggression.
You can see the positions they've had to take on the map, right? Connector control, they have water control. They're having to play more offensively to make the scrappy buy work. Now, if AVANGAR just stick to their guns, quite literally, they should win a lot of these fights. They also, when they get to late round, have enough Molotovs in their back pocket to clear out the closed corners, which are going to really deal some damage.
If they just run long.
It's free. It's open.
The freest round. Well, certainly the freest plant. But they're not going to do that without some utility usage. That should be enough of a warning sign to get NRG pulling their socks up. You can hear the flashes in long.
Daps is rotating now. It's going to be his job to be the caretaker of long. Fugly being in such a forward position as well.
He's got a lot to do. He has to find more than one here. Already tagged up. They start to encroach. He's in trouble. Push from either side. Goes wide. It's Kickert. Down goes the AUG, and down goes NRG's chances. Coming from behind his Cirque. That's not enough, though. Down to just 19 points of health. Daps, he has to get this. He has to get the weapon. He flashed. What is that?
Flash?
Oh, it's a disaster. He's in front of him.
It was a team flash. No.
Oh, miscommunication there. It looks awkward as hell, and it certainly feels for NRG. They've got a very low health Cirque. He does have an AK, and Breezy's making it winnable. Crizzen gets the bomb down, but he's in trouble too. He's got 2 shots from 2 sides, and now all on one man. Fitch is low too. This round has become disastrous for AVANGAR. They know where he is, they've got the nades, and they have the weapons. Ethan secures it. NRG, that's a necessity to compete. They find 7. And Chad, I need you to piece that one back together for me, because that was chaos.
Daps made a really good play, right? He knew that he had to re-aggress considering Fugly's position. I think Fugly was caught out of position, but I'm not sure how. He knew that he was the only player there. I'm not sure why he walked down the stairs not expecting a player to potentially be in front of him. And that position he was in, it's so difficult to back on out of. But in the chaos that we can see here, that flash has just come from Cirque up the stairs. You can see Cirque now following up with his flash. So yeah, that's just a bit of miscommunication and a hectic moment in what is a hectic game. I'm surprised we haven't seen NRG take a tactical timeout just to let it breathe. Oh, Bomb has been left in spawn right now. Krisen's going to realize as he throws.
Oh, there's always one that's forced to go back and get it. And it's always me, I'll be honest. It's always me. But James, down. NRG. They start the long journey towards 16 in the second half here. Best of one, if you've just joined us, AVANGAR, NRG, both have conceded one map already.
AVANGAR have put themselves in the best position possible right now to win this game. If they let this slip, they're going to be crushed because they've done so much hard work. They've had a fantastic approach on their CT side. Now their T side, they've had their chances. They've squandered one. And now they have to work hard to put themselves back in a position where they can even look for a second. But it is going to be the walk through the monster tunnel for Ethan.
Flash and burst. They're starting to charge. Ethan deals with that so comfortably. God, Breezy and Ethan, the firing squad, meeting you outside Monster. I know that doesn't sound too fun. And it certainly isn't for AVANGAR. Dismantled. Quick exchange of fire leaves Quicket backing away. Bomb in the hands of the enemy, realizing that this is going to be the 8th for NRG.
Monster's holding Monster.
Yeah, it really is. NRG's Monsters put in the appropriate position.
This is going to be a save call by the looks of things. 20 seconds left on the clock. He does have a decent amount of utility, so if he can hold on to this, they can use it to try and keep NRG honest in terms of their economy for the following rounds. But the fact that they're stringing two together here, positive signs. It's a chance for the Americans to potentially stabilize.
Speaking of those Monsters, I'd love to draw attention to the scoreboard as well, just to kind of back that one up. NRG, outside of the two Monsters we just talked about, have been unable to break double digits in round 20. That's tough. 18 for Ethan, 20 for Breezy. Those two have been keeping this team alive. Both in the start, of course, let's not forget Breezy responsible for some of the T rounds, or at least half of the T rounds they managed to acquire almost single-handedly. Ethan, spectacular, especially on the CT.
Cirque's going to need to find a lot of opening picks like he did just then with that AWP to find impact. That is the AWP's dream.
This is where he thrives, though. CT Overpass. Analysts are calling him the best, if not close, to the very best in the world. And it looks like they're trying to do the same boost. NRG went for this too, but
There's no one there. There's no one home.
Slippery shoes.
It looks cool, but they're not going to net themselves a kill because they're...
Okay, James, I'm actually...
You guys cool, or...?
Like, I love the idea. You've got the AWP. Let's
right,
boost
guys.
him. Third time's the charm. And by that point, maybe there's a T there. CT's maybe going to go up.
No one's
I
jumping.
didn't realize you could see the boost as well, actually. That's a revelation for me. I thought it was just going to catch Heaven, but you can catch a boosted CT there.
So if he was up there when he had planned to be up there, maybe he would have netted himself a kill. But now it doesn't appear that anybody else needs to jump because water control has been given. We can see that.
Appreciating the patience, bearing in mind they haven't got too much more to play with. They're kind of counting on an easy way into the site. Krisen then bursts out, catches a second. Suddenly the site's open and, oh my goodness, the bomb's down. But they do break.
I'm curious as to what you do now behind this AWP because James has to do all the work. It is going to be another B hit. Water control, like I mentioned, is going to receive as Breezy grabs one. He's going to spot up another, gets the second onto Fitch.
Comfortable.
35 seconds left, and the AWP hasn't had a chance to go for a single kill.
Oh, James tagged up Daps, but he gets the better of him. In-game leader from NRG finds a very important frag. It was just the AWP of James that they really had to play with, the only tool on their tool kit. Krisen starting to keep hold of that very powerful weapon. He's only got one, and he just looks to survive for 15 seconds. That's his mission, that's his objective, and Ethan looks to try and squander his quest.
Get in, boys. This is one that you want to take this gun out of the equation, right?
Oh my god, they're all coming. Here we go. Deathmatch starts and deathmatch ends. Daps quickly ends that dream.
That's an important chase, right? Because if they allowed that to stay in play, they have to worry about that in the following round. They've built, or felt they had built up enough of a bank that they could go for that and take it out of his hands. They had really closed him in. So that was a smart play by NRG. Normally when you see players seeking and trying to find kills, and it's late round, they do it alone. NRG are doing the fundamentals well, doing it as a team. And now they've really stabilized, but AVANGAR seem to want to bite back. So they've managed to get 4 AKs and a P250 in the hands of Kickit.
Fitch talked about his teammates in a light that suggested that they can lose their temper, lose their cool, lose their mindset in the face of adversity. Now, they've been far from adverse circumstances so far. Let's not forget an 11-4 half on the CT side for AVANGAR, but take note now. AVANGAR 12, 1 round secured on their T side, and it's obviously not enough.
Should probably also note, Alex, that during the Challenger stage, Furia and AVANGAR were the 2 youngest teams, so one could safely assume that AVANGAR would be the youngest team here in the Legend stage.
Safe assumption to be made. And not necessarily a safe play to be made by Fitch if he chooses to push through that smoke. Let's not forget, Breezy maybe put the fear into him for that position, and Kickit's trying to get as much info as he can, jumping through under. Their weapons, their nades, it's all a little awkward. But 1 bullet to the head is all you need with that AK-47. Not easy to find, that's for sure. Spread out, default for now for AVANGAR.
Fugly and Buster have spotted each other at long, and Fugly's opted to fall all the way back here.
So the only info the CTs have right now is that there's presence long, and Fugly doesn't have toilets. Lots of unanswered questions in middle.
You can see Cirque's taken over the long duty now, and Fugly's played a little bit more forward. You want to play a position like this if executes come in. Daps is still supporting B.
This could be bad. There's 3 CTs on the other side of the map. If Breezy falls here, he's almost all they've got. Daps and Breezy starting to back away, and the rotate does come in. Look at this, AVANGAR with 1 frag, 1 aggress through Monster. They've managed to pull the CTs out of position. Buster, ever the thorn in NRG's side, continues his advance towards A.
Has to be a B hit at this point.
He's hoping for the flank. Maybe take that off away from Cirque, but he's too smart. He's going to check that. He's going to realize that was the lurk. And now the CTs, they're going to be so poised for this. This is going to be tough for AVANGAR. Starting to charge. No nades to be seen. No nades to be thrown. It's just going to be gunplay. Oh my God, it keeps him safe. The bomb goes down. Fitch saves his team's hide, at least for a moment. But Krisen, he's doing the opposite of hide. My goodness, takes the head off Daps. 3 versus 2, Fugly and Cirque. He's got an AWP. This just got really awkward for NRG. He's not going to check his corner kick. He has to hit the shots. He doesn't. Quick adjustment from Fugly. Aggress towards shorts. Punished. All on Cirque as he goes close quarters. Bomb ticking away. He has to go away. He hasn't got the kit. He hasn't got time. And that's going to be AVANGAR's round. My goodness. Whew, that's a very different round if that frag happens.
Breezy never misses those. They're sitters. They're the ones that he's getting every day of the week.
Perhaps he's got sweaty palms.
Mum spaghetti.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
Okay, so right now, we do have enough money in the bank for NRG to get it by. They can get everything they want. Cirque was able to save that AWP. That's not too bad right there. But what do we notice happen? Just a little bit of exchange of utility over towards A. Krisen with a huge opening on towards that B bomb site. And then from there, just a late hit.
Krisen, man. We talk about Jane, we've talked about Kickit. Both of them have had incredible games so far to get here. Krisen seems to be feeling the vibe. 19 frags from him alongside James, 18. Quality of the frags as well, not necessarily just the quantity.
Ooh, Cirque's going aggressive connector here. Kickit is down there.
What I like to see. Smoked off and backs off. Ethan once again given this responsibility. Doesn't matter if it's T or CT, water's his. As was Monster.
It's just very slow paced. Happy to milk utility.
Krisen, he's so ready for those fights, Chad. He's so ready for them. NRG, they're stacked up on this site now.
It's crazy that he can go for that peak and get away with his life. You know, normally it's a, you know, you either get the kill or you're dead. And here he's been able to force out utility, make them scared, make them reposition.
Well, because suddenly you just say, there's a T monster. Oh, good connection. Fitch actually punished for his spray through the wall.
We're really going to see if this A defense can stand up.
Look at Buster. He is always this solo player who just gets under your skin. Again, hiding with map control.
James dropped all the way back towards the tree. I assume to throw something for Buster here. He's going to get a chance to pick. He's walking up.
Cirque's holding it. This should be unwinnable for Buster. He shouldn't get a thing. patience, though. He has teammates. Let's not forget that. They need to draw Cirque's fire, and now the smoke's there. He has to clear. Oh, but Cirque, smart work, holds up to his responsibility with a reposition. Now Fugly to be tested. Kristen and Fitch going wide. Their backs turned. It's the perfect crossfire, and James, he's not long for this world.
By Cirque.
What a round from Cirque.
He needed to make that play. Fugly was stuck. He was relying on the truck player to cover his long, but that's not a position you want to find yourself in. As you're rounding that angle at long, you're kind of pre-aiming that position anyway. It's not much of a transfer to take down Fugly in transition. Fugly couldn't look away either because he had to cover the close wall for the truck player. So if Cirque didn't push, if he didn't get that done, that A bomb site defense would have just been absolutely destroyed.
There's not many AWPers when smoke... Wow, that second shot. There's not many AWPers when given the responsibility of long. A smoke lands where it landed, and you choose to go wide. Not only that, but he thrives, finds 3 in the round. That's huge. Could be the leg up NRG need to at least take this to OT.
Look how much more composed AVANGAR look in the late rounds, though. They're able to get executes, whereas you noticed NRG on their T side, they were kind of running into situations a man down, or at least without knowing if anybody was close. And that's why they were getting obliterated. Whereas AVANGAR are giving themselves real chances, and players from NRG have to stand up with individual moments of brilliance to just hold them back in this. Now, the money has been humbled.
We never doubted NRG had the individual, so does AVANGAR. Fitch beheads Daps in heaven. Well, that's where he's going for sure, at least for this round. 24. Fugly's backing away. He is so willing to just take these very wide fights and blind fights even. Catches him through the smoke.
Fugly's job is actually very important.
Right.
He doesn't play this like somebody who's playing for frags. He's playing as somebody who is babysitting Cirque. He has to cover a position of the map while Cirque's posted up with the AWP. Has to play in transition, has to use the utility well to allow Cirque to reposition, and then mop up the frags with the big green itself, or in this case, the Asimov AWP. But he doesn't play it like a player who just is trying to multi-kill, you know? He's playing it to make sure that he can still be in transition.
He's not baiting in a corner, hoping to shoot them in the back when Cirque's drawing their fire. His responsibility is information.
And he's also rotating more often than not. So you see when Cirque's posted up, even if Fugly was in more of a forward position, he's going to fall back and be in transition towards B.
Yeah, this round's over. Just to confirm, it's likely going to be Cirque, and Buster's just applying a little bit of pressure. A little more than that. Fugly down.
After the time.
After the time, and Cirque very close to losing that AWP. There was no one to pick that up, so that's a big play in the long run.
It doesn't feel that's going to bother AVANGAR too much because they've been going for these really weird buys anyways. When everybody has had suboptimal money, they've still been investing quite unusually. But here it feels like they're going to be a little bit more reserved. It is just a pistol upgrade with some light armor and a little bit of utility. This smells of a set piece.
These are the get out of jail quick cards, right?
So pocket strat needs to come out in a position like this, even if it is just pistols. Normally you're doing it so you can, you know, get a couple of kills, maybe even get that bomb down.
Let's find out how this one does play out at AVANGAR. Will it be a page from the strat book? Very limited nades.
They used that Molotov very early. It's more just like for crowd control to make sure map territory can't be taken too easily by the CTs. And now they're all congregated over towards connector.
Perhaps just force a little bit of that utility out, hoping the Molotov's enough to feign a buy of some description.
This could be dangerous though if you are Ethan and Breezy, because if they bust out the door with a well-placed pop flash, I know one of them is sitting anti-flash right now.
Kiket's lining it up.
So still scary.
Kiket has a flash. James, one of their best with the aim. No, not choosing to go for it.
Cancel that.
Scrap that. He was considering it. Certainly was. But the story has more twists and turns yet. 2 CTs rather pushed up, as you would expect on a round like this, where they've been given so much freedom for so long. 50 seconds on the clock, and Fugly, he's going to call that there is plenty in toilets. Just the one so far. Catches Jane, but they might want to push on that. The Molotov's going to tell them otherwise. They start to ascend towards the site. The CTs are there. I say CTs, it's not plural, just Daps for now, and he's fully flashed. Turn around, Kiket! He's going to be punished. Fugly catches one. Now Daps, completely unannounced, manages to find the double, and that's a nice and easy NRG 12.
Every round, AVANGAR feels scary, right? That does feel like it's a moment could slip away.
If you're not playing anti-flash, if you don't go wide when you should, you're suddenly in an unsavory situation as NRG. But they still hold on. 12 to 13, we are level. And my goodness, maybe things are going to be level all the same for the AWPs, as James and Cirque, I think for one of the first times in this game, are both going to have the big one at the same time.
Definitely feels like it, and this is where the in-game leader, he's probably going to call one of those rounds where I'm going to go pick here, support me in this scenario so that I can find the kill and give us an opening into the round. It has been some very interesting buys from both teams on their T sides, really just trying to fight and stay on top and use their individual ability. And well, I've been entertained. They've hit some crackers of shots.
No shortage of plays today. Not forgetting the half. CT's dominant here on Overpass, 11 to AVANGAR. They managed to pick up 2 on their T side so far. Let's not forget 4 in total from NRG's T side.
Yeah, since you mentioned it, the other members of the team have been able to lift up their socks.
They're doing it again. James, making sure he hasn't got oil on his shoes again. My goodness, mate. This is what strats are for. You want to practice it? Oh, come on, James.
Not like this.
Brother. Stack up some bots. Take your time. Get your head around it. Because that's a huge waste of time. They have, like, you forego map control. Jokes aside, the T side invest a lot into him getting on top and getting info.
Definitely so. The door's actually blown open right now, and Cirque is in water. He's able to AWP all the way into connector, so... Oh, he's repositioned in this moment, but that was where he was looking before. So they've completely contained the backyard area. Krisen is on the aggressive side. If he wants to get out of town, he's going to have to go past the AWP of Cirque or into the hands of Breezy in the B-bomb side. So either way, he is going to get taken down, and that's a quick shot from Cirque. They're lightning-fast reactions. As Cirque is now going to take that shot and rotate away.
I could barely see him.
But look at this. AVANGAR haven't reacted scared. They've actually taken the territory knowing the fundamentals were going to come out from NRG.
Ugly tanked up Fitch very heavily on short. CT and Underpass is a bit of a nuisance with that door open.
He just needs to live. He doesn't need to do anything right now.
His presence alone, right?
Exactly. It has to be a B hit with 20 seconds left on the clock or a save call. This could be do or die right now for AVANGAR.
They've got to make something happen. 14 seconds, they're everywhere. There's no group up. Fugly, just by existing, has completely disrupted this T side. What do you do? 7 seconds of AVANGAR. You're not planting, you're saving. With 4 players alive, you're giving NRG the 13th. Let's see if this can pay off in the end.
I'm really surprised that NRG didn't opt to just push and use the utility that they had left to take a fight and just try and take away any guns that they could.
If I was pointing fingers, and I am, as to where the clock and the time ran out, perhaps faffing around trying to boost an AWPer for the first 15 to 20 seconds of the round didn't help.
It doesn't help things. It also derails whatever kind of plan you had. This is the second time, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen this go down.
It requires all 5 players to make reality and...
dedicating a lot of resources.
So yeah, and you're throwing nades at the start of that just to try and feign a default.
Okay.
Anyway.
They had a lot of saved guns there, so the buy is very good.
Always excited to see this man on that CT AWP. He's known to roam. And his initial aggression goes unrewarded. Couple of warning shots, but Ethan's not even blinking. Not interested in any of that. Door open. And now Cirque about to be tested. Wow, even pre-aiming the jump peak.
Look at this, they just leave long completely open. They don't even have eyes there. They're using the timer.
Oh, and he even checked it before James boosted. Catches Cirque. AWP gone. NRG have to work with 4.
Okay, so now Daps will rotate over, but they have to be very cautious of long because they didn't have eyes on it for the majority of the round. So very passive will be the setup. One of the positives for NRG in this moment is there isn't a lot of utility to work with because AVANGAR saved so many guns. They weren't able to reinvest in too many bits and pieces to actually have a well-drilled set piece.
Yeah, they're working with scraps, playing with fumes. AVANGAR, they need to win this.
They're stuck again, Alex. This connector presence from Ethan means that they have to go A. There isn't enough time to run all the way back through T-spawn to B. But Daps is going to get tagged up.
And Daps is going to be eliminated. That's a big problem. Fugly, yes, sure, you've got awkward things happening in connector, but it's even more awkward for Fugly on site. He knows the T's are encroaching on him. 18 seconds, potentially stopping the plant would be something. He lines it up, connects just a little, but Fitch, through all of that, manages to get the digits punched in time. Now they start to fill the kill feed, and I mean, AVANGAR, kick it. James, that's enough. The round is over. AVANGAR find 14. It was a must-win, Chad. You outlined that.
Fugly's just been told, go for kills. They have enough money in the bank. He's been told by the team that he needs to go for frags in this environment instead of running away and trying to save. They don't need the money. He could have gone for some kills here. Look on the bottom right of the screen right now. James, 350. Krisen, 350. Kick at 300. Fitch, 350 for Buster. Any kills he could have gotten in this environment, anybody he could have taken down like this is going to help.
Fugly rather unwilling to get his Deerstalker on. Not having any of it. Just the one. But loses his org in the process. Of course, money not a problem for NRG. 6 multi-frag round you can see there on your screen. That's interesting.
You can see that they haven't had to reinvest too much, right? They were able to hold on to a lot of guns. So there's enough money on James if they do lose it that he can get, you know, an AK. Krisen is going to be close. They're going to have to drop guns over. But if Fugly had gone for more kills, right, they might not have been able to fully invest into this one. Their buy in this round would have been more affected. Sure, if NRG win this round, if they're able to take this one, it is still going to spiral AVANGAR's money out of control in the late round, in the late game. But the problem is the T side, they always have that element of surprise, that fast change of pace. Whereas the CTs, when their money gets put in the bin in the late game, it's all over. You really require individuals to step up. Pacing isn't going to help you. Trying to catch the Ts off guard is exactly what they expect.
Thrown here by Team Liquid and NIP respectively. Now, one of these teams is just a few rounds away from staring down the barrel of an elimination best of 3, 0 and 2. This would put one of these two heroes. 13 for NRG, 14 for AVANGAR. Powerful CT side's the story of this Overpass, but now AVANGAR are looking to close things out. Money not their best friend. And Breezy, certainly NRG's, he has been such an instrumental factor. Once again, closing in on 30, like another day in the office for him. And is this a boost? Fitch checks it.
So
with the
aware.
wall bang as well! That's how you rip the rug from underneath NRG. Your two top fraggers by a mass of frags have been taken out in one fell swoop.
That's the game.
That's the game?
That feels to me like the game. Those two players that you were just...
talking about how good they are.
Yeah.
Talking about their frags and how important they are.
They have cooled. They have cooled quite significantly. They've been able to avoid them, but they've been doing walks onto the A bomb site, putting pressure on the likes of Cirque and Fugly. That's going to force your big fraggers, your monsters, to be in rotation, and that's where the harder position, the harder play to find kills. We saw the disparity when we started this half between Cirque, Daps, Fugly, the bottom three, and then Breezy and Ethan, who were miles ahead.
Both of them just lost their life with an aggressive CT boost. Many CT rounds have been won without water double stack boosts. You know, it definitely has happened. Facetiousness at an all-time high, I apologize. But Cirque and Fugly clutching onto their weapons. Their only chance, so it's taken away from them. And Buster, he's gone and ruined everything. He takes all of the weapons away. What's the NRG situation? I mean, there's no AWP, I assume.
Pretty dismal. 4750 for Breezy. Ethan had 4800. Cirque has enough for an AWP, but it isn't an optimal buy by any means. We are going to see 3 orgs on the board. Cirque's going to be able to get the AWP, and if he chooses to get utility, no, he's going to go with armor instead,
So
and then
fit.
Fugly is left on the FAMAS.
It must have been an audio cue as well. He adjusted so quickly, and oh, the most adorable of fist pumps from Kick It. My goodness. This is it. Last chance saloon. NRG, 1 round away from being in an elimination best of 3. Undefeated in the minor. Undefeated in the challenger stage. And back-to-back losses is a prospect. Not yet, though. Fugly could have something to say about it. Very aggressive positioning from him. You can see on Fountain. They're flashing it, though. They're treating it with respect, and Fugly makes his presence known with a frag. Catches Buster. Body shots only. Kick It, quick to respond in kind. 4 versus 4, NRG. Every decision you make could determine your major fate.
Fugly did very well then. You could see there is support close to him, but nobody able to pivot and take a fight along those lines. The fact that he did so much damage and got 1 kill, and they're still able to maintain that forward pressure. It's good stuff from him, but if the attack just goes over towards B, that means we're going to find ourselves in a retake scenario, and that does appear to be on the cards for AVANGAR. As one player is going to try and be clearing out connector. It's worked. Fitch has forced them back. Now 3 players are just going to walk through Monster, and Breezy is left in graffiti. He can't even stop the plant.
He's got to do more than stop the plant. He's got to kill 4 of them. Fake, they've got time. Restraint shown from AVANGAR here. Interesting positioning from the other 2. Take note. It is just James and Krisen. Bomb goes in, NRG. This has to be an incredible retake. They don't have kits, Chad. What do you do? Every second that ticks away, NRG are closer and closer to 0-2. Where's the nades? There's a smoke. No, there isn't. I'm looking at Fitch. He's got nothing. And speaking on Fitch, he finds Daps. The Molotov not quite going to connect. James got another one. Just 2 remain. Cirque and Breezy have to save NRG. It's not looking good. It's Krisen and Fitch to fill it. And that is a Vanguard going 1-1. NRG thrown into an elimination best of 3.
Another upset coming in for NRG, dropping the ball twice now. AVANGAR seated very, very low.
On the verge of tears. Pride oozing from him.
What an amazing performance from AVANGAR. That was a team effort. Nobody really stood out. The desk is waiting. Let them take this one away.
Yeah, we're going to be doing just that. Thank you very much, Mr. Burchill and Mr. Richardson. What was a very tumultuous affair there for the side of NRG. They were unable to capitalize and unable to put it back in their favor. That's right. AVANGAR have defeated them now, finding themselves in the 0-2 bracket. Myself and the rest of this analyst desk will begin to walk you through the motions here as to what it is that just transpired. You have Sean Gares and Mr. Pimp Vinicky. I believe you also have a name. It's Jacob. But for what it's worth, the name of NRG not ringing all the bells right now.
I am super happy that Chad just said what he did there in the last sentence, that it was a team effort from AVANGAR, because I really feel it was everyone stepping up. I think one thing that testaments to that is the fact that the bottom fragger for AVANGAR, Cricket, was the guy dealing the most damage for AVANGAR throughout the entire game. So even though he was bottom fragging, he was still delivering a lot of damage, still contributing a lot to this win. Overall, super impressed by AVANGAR. Well played once again.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. I mean, this was a total team effort by them. James had a really, really strong game with the AWP despite missing that boost a couple times. That was pretty funny. But yeah, this was what we talked about in the opening segment, is NRG needed to get enough T rounds. And really, they didn't have much success at all. Breezy got them 2 rounds all by himself. And other than that, they had such a flat half. If it wasn't for some crazy heroics by Cirque on a couple of those A hits, this would have been over way sooner. AVANGAR put up a incredible performance.
And I gotta point it out one more time, not to point fingers at a certain player, but I do believe that Cirque needs to perform better on NRG right now. He's a vital and instrumental part of this lineup, and especially on a map like Overpass, he should be able to do more work. I think he finished on 45 ADR, something along those lines, which is just too little for a guy with that immense skill.
And has been touted as sort of the bulldozer, the bulldog, or what will you call him. One guy, though, that is absolutely neither one of those, but a monster in his own right, will be who is down on the floor there with Frankie. We do have Fitch. Let's go ahead and check it in.
Fitch, what a great performance from AVANGAR, and I know that you took some of the audience by surprise with your success, particularly on the first half. Fantastic rotations. You seem to always know where NRG was going. How did you do it?
So, hi all. So, first of all, we're glad to win. And how we rotate. Our captain just called every moves for city side, and that's how we just, it's kind of our play style. That's it.
Having a psychic captain, I like to hear it. You did actually lose to Liquid on the same map on Overpass earlier today. So what did you learn from that game?
No, we just learned that the USA teams are really strong on city side. So that was, so the luck thing is that we just won like 11 rounds for the first half. That's why we won probably.
So basically, have a really strong CT side yourself.
What?
Have a really strong CT side yourself.
So that was awkward. I mean, they almost came back. So.
But they didn't, and that's what matters, Fitch. Congratulations. We'll see you play again tomorrow because we need to head back to the desk.
Yes, thank you, Frankie. And he said it there. It was very awkward, but not for AVANGAR. They have found success, which means they do stay alive here in Katowice. Now, Jacob, let me get a last word from you before we get out of here.
I'm just super happy on their behalf. I think they played another great game. They did lose to Liquid in the first round. That was a rough matchup for them. They did put up a great fight. Now, beating NRG is by no means a bad thing for AVANGAR. I think they can be very proud of that. They secure a spot for the next major as well. A big thing for a team like this. They don't have to go through the CS minor one more time. So overall, they can be super satisfied. And I think it's a team that teams have to look out for now. AVANGAR is by no means done.
Yeah, I don't think that they're out of the fight at all. And in fact, I don't even think NRG is. But there is more fighting coming your way. We're going to have Vitality and Not a Sincere squaring off here. And nobody really knows what this bag of tricks holds. So make sure you stick around and put your feet up on the ottoman. We'll be right back after this.